showing up. I would just like to thank Kay for so graciously creating this space and allowing me to share this place you guys call home. Let me just jump right in. Another America. In order not to break this thing we've been building, let me give it to you straight. Never will I be able to know firsthand what it was like to move under the camouflage of verdure, to resent light, to crawl between trees, bushes, wet earth, only to get across an invisible line and into a country where you have to stay on your knees. I can't claim to know just how much of you lost on the journey across, or how to burn from my tongue the taste of a name, so not to forget the one you've had to give everywhere you go. I never learned how to make myself small, to disappear into a thing, breath against glass. For 2 months you stayed huddled in a house stripped raw of home, only a few kilometers from the border, without once stepping foot outside. Tell me how to flourish as a bare wall, a doormat. You've lived so far from windows, your eyes still lick every street clean, even after all these years. I can't know what it was like. I was born with a yelling, no one told me to hush. How many empty sinks, white ceramic piss bowls swallowed your face, the under-the-table, undercut pay you waited for. I haven't had to pay the ransom for our skin. All you, my mothers, I was born into permission. Forgive me.
Whoa!
Just to give you a background, I'm a first-generation Canadian. My mother's Peruvian, and a lot of my family has migrated into either Canada or the United States, one way or another. So, self-portrait as a fountain. Though I am no longer the tongue after you bit, I'm the beige of something stored, of a woman in waiting. Lately, I look nothing like honeycomb. I'm the color of minutes, something clocked through. I think of lovers whose names I can no longer write, how under starlight I crawl back into the broken vowel of their mouths to see my name resounding in the body's supplication. Nothing pleads more beautifully than shadows. These days, I'm a midnight's hamster, waking at odd and terrible hours. When shaken at 3 a.m., I don't know which of two voices is calling me. These days, I'm beginning to look a lot like a long, unreadable poem, my hair taken into the wind. In waking, the grief of strangers plays on in an unending loop. It's a music I'm sorry to listen to. Still, I write them down like the first fall of snow. Sometimes I imagine the edge of the world, how the mist hovers above the mystery, and how marvelous the chilled air might feel against the bells of my cheeks. Would you believe me if I told you it cuts the loneliness? Would you believe this is a way out of the water? Not enough hallelujahs. Along the Atlantic, I bathed and rested on an ill-populated beach among seagulls and a few sprouts of unclipped grasses. I drank cold tea, wiping my face between gulps, my skin a canvas for the breeze and sun. I read the dailies and the obituaries out of curiosity, considered how I might be remembered or celebrated or sent out like a kite. Which country might hold a pyre, hold a wake, hold my bones, where my name might dwindle back to sand. And since night descended faster than Jesus, and the boat found its way out of the darkness only after first being disemboweled, since no one heard their muffled cries as salt filled their lungs, there must not have been enough hallelujahs.
Whoa, shit!
Some Moses promised to lead them across, to part the good sea, tainting it red. In whose mind are those children drifting? Where was the maker when the first child held in a faulty jacket's embrace called out, "Father"? His back was turned then, as it has been before, as another country tightens its patrols, as an officer puts on his headphones, lights a cigarette, places luck at the lottery. The line at the register for lattes and espressos is only getting longer. Another dollar and buries its head from the pocket, moves swiftly from hand to hand, is welcome everywhere. We fatten ourselves on it, douse it in sugar and gasoline. We are chewing on the daily news. Hail a cab, throw in a new stick of gum. Let's change up the tone. We're getting so dark out here. Gian, who is going to be reading tonight, and you won't be so fortunate to hear her, was my roommate in New York City, and a dear, dear friend. And we had a third, and her name is Dakota. And anyways, we lived together, and this is just kind of a love poem to them and the time we shared in our apartment in New York. Ode to 6C. More hive than apartment, we swarmed, nestled, inhaled all that pours, milk, broth, women, undone. And like ritual, we returned to that split moon, a table like a sea, where we, unfiltered and untapped, became fountains. For what are fountains if not women, having to empty without cease and replenish themselves? A door long held open, those four walls were more than brick and pipe and plaster peeling, were in fact pages of returns, of a city witnessing itself. There, in the 6th floor walk-up, 3 women vanished nightly, becoming a 3-winged raven, becoming the wandering roots of an elm tree, which still pulses homeward. But it isn't news. I read books of tremendous and ordinary grief. Mine is nor here nor there, only a grief of quiet rolling Monday through Monday. I don't know how I got so far into the day, my head still reciting morning hues. The impossible question clocks through, how did I get here? I'm still 10, trying to outrun the uncle who grabbed my ass and said, no one will believe you. Now, I'm 2 weeks away from my 25th birthday, and he's forcing himself into my mouth somewhere in Alphabet City. Tonight, I'll think of drinking bleach just to wash out the taste. I'd like to tell you about lilacs on the counter, the starless grief of insomnia, of a spider drowned in rainwater. But 3 men promised to rape me as I walked back to the office after lunch. Sometimes in dreams I try screaming, but all I can do is spit out blood. Right now, a sister is trying to climb out of her skin, but this isn't news. I'm going to change up the order. Across the Fence, Canada, 2018. Mouthful of mustard seeds, the house next door is burning. No sight of rain. I kneel, touch ground as often as I can. Everywhere from me, someone is being drowned. Someone is living with a hole in their chest. The fog has cleared. The American dream stands a fraud. There are naysayers whose skin never reads as target practice, who were born onto streets without landmines, who've never awoken from the nightmare of their child's colors splattered like a Pollock. On the news, I see my mother's face on every woman in tears. 10 years before my birth, my mother boarded a plane without intention of return. Thank you, Mama. It's easy to say now. Thank you, Carmen, Maria, Susana, Doris, all the names you walked through. Here you have lived 1,000 lives. Thank you for taking the flight. Thanks to the blonde stranger who spoke for you at border security. I would tell him his kindness kindness wove me into possibility. I know the grief is not mine, but it looks like every body I love. It is all happening live, beheadings in the living room. Mama and I hold each other as Pachamama's river runs from our eyes, and we cannot even blink. Don't dare, we're here. New Year's. If you want to travel, run around the neighborhood with an empty suitcase in hand, at least once, full circle. Wear yellow underwear for the 31st, lest fortune oversee your cup as she pours. Yes, thank you. I too wish you excitement and wealth in the new year. Mostly, I hope you get through tomorrow, and then the day after. I hope you sing other than all alone and find surprise in the timbre of your voice. I hope you eat well and sleep well and go unabashed to the doctors when you need. I hope you see the radical beauty of a cactus, a hedgehog, or a pasture full of ballet black-nosed sheep grazing and feel astonished by what you had failed before to perceive. Go somewhere cerulean without posting a thing. Be busy loving yourself. Take a chance on the durian. I wish you growth, which is to say, I hope you become more tree every day when it's easier to become fire. Write down your dreams as they come. Certain births take longer. Hope you're out there in the big world dancing. Most importantly, don't forget to ask. When Abuela hands you a bowl of grapes, take 12, no more, no less. Infuse each with a wish before you eat them. Lord knows I've lost months to impatience. In a year, I'll let you know just how much closer I am to becoming a jacaranda. But you'll know by the purple trumpets at your feet. Okay, just two more. Nicole. I keep trying to write the poem to empty out the blue of his eyes. You wanted to live without the blackbird rattling your chest, without that February. Some nights I see red vanishing, how feverishly he tried to dissolve you. Some nights I see you again yourself, as if the dark chooses to gift you a while of forgetting. Some mornings you lose your breakfast, relive the entirety of it from beginning to beginning. For months you withheld every ounce of salt to stay afloat. I keep trying to write the poem, Nicole, that will spare you his hands. The CDs on the shelf, ballads he said he'd play for you. Spare you the room, a color you don't remember but struggle to leave. Sometimes the restaurant where you met goes up in flames in my head and I feel nothing, like the tearless months when nothing ached because nothing was left except cosmos vazed by the window, wilting and reaching in the light. You did not die. He did not kill you. I say to the morning, to the mirror, to the cooing dove buried deep. It was the night sky he tore out with his teeth. Not me, not me. Thank you. This is just the last poem, just in celebration of my Peruvian people. To the ancestors of Manco Cápac y Mama Oyo. Brother, don't forget, we were the children of kings. They took the river, slipped in by her mouth. How quickly they plucked from our trees those white birds. How quickly their hunger grew into mountains, into a green wider than our thirst. We raised our hands to Inti, who could not come, and they crushed our fingers under stones from our temples. An empire, the breadth of a continent, shrunk down to our mausoleum in the east, our boneyard, our Huayna Picchu. The great Inca's face gazes from the rock. Brother, don't cry out. They came for the jeweled rocks of our eyes. Even now, iron smells of centuries. I vow never to wield it. Under the morning mist of that pueblo joven on the outskirts of Lima, my young mother stands in line for the weekly ration of oats and milk. Brother, lift up your head. Our blood is rich with every grief. The golden path they came for, they will never take it. In our clenched jaw, a fist is sprouting. Thank you.